Welcome
What?
back, everybody,
You're such an ass.
to the fourth and final round of our Wednesday night standard tournament here at Top Deck Productions. We've got Jake Valentine, which we saw briefly, playing Golgari Midrange, versus Terrance on Rakdos.
He's been working hard on this Rakdos deck for a minute.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's got him 3 wins tonight. 2 wins tonight, sorry. Jake is currently sitting at 7 points, so he hasn't lost yet. But he did have that draw we saw in the first round.
Interesting tactic to take a draw instead of a loss.
Yeah, that's not
Not where you want to be?
not where you want to be. Although it throws you in a nice bracket sometimes.
Sometimes.
Can ride that draw all the way to a top 8. Bob Goyferino says, wait, Golgari is bad against Jeskai, right? And is bad in the meta. It's not favored against Jeskai, but when we talk about how a deck has like a losing matchup, we're not talking like Tron v Jund or anything like that. These are like 60-40 matchups at worst.
Yeah, it's the beauty of Standard. Standard, above all other formats, has room to play.
Yeah, there's a lot of room to play.
Like, you can gain percentage points during the match very, very quickly, depending on the draws, depending on whether you know what's going on. Maybe you've identified certain things as being important that your opponent
Yeah, so if you have a
hasn't identified.
If you have a read on like what's in their hand and like how they're playing and what they're playing around, and they don't have the same read on you, then that's a big deal in Standard. Doesn't really matter much in Modern. But
Right.
yeah, Golgari probably lost a little bit of market share over the weekend, just because there were so many decks designed specifically to beat it. But it's by no means a bad deck. Turn 1, main deck Duress. It's the find.
He found a find.
He found a find. He did not fail to find a find.
No, I don't know that on Duress you can fail to find find.
You cannot fail to find a find. 1 violence. Ahoy. Nice top deck for Jake. Hits the Branch Walker.
1 violence has a lot of symbols ahead of his name. I don't know what those mean.
One's some bits being cheered. One's a sub. And one's a mod.
Oh, man.
Listen, he's cheered his bits off.
cheered the bits.
Tucker, thank you for the follow.
21-21. That's going to be an impressive year.
Not as impressive as 25-25 if Cleopatra 25-25 has taught me anything.
What? Is that another person in our chat?
No, there's a show called Cleopatra 25-25.
Is it about the reemergence of the Egyptian Empire?
No, it's just about Cleopatra. This chick named Cleopatra in the year 25-25. I've seen 1 episode.
Any good?
It was real bad.
Vivian Reed is going to come in, take 1 activation, and get contempted.
Immediately.
So
Probably wanted to let that resolve. You just
contempt?
the Vivian activation first. By contempting in response, you gave Jake a little bit of information. Doesn't really matter, but you always want to play things as close to the vest as possible.
as close to the vest. All right, so Jake here with the Jade Light Ranger.
Jade Light. Bennett.
Bin's Llanowar Elf.
Put that counter on the wrong thing. Vraska's Contempt. You probably bin that. I would bin it. Bin it, Jake.
Yeah.
Bin
He's got two Chupacabras in hand. So okay.
Alright. Branch Walker, we're still leaving it on top, whatever. I would have binned it. But that's me. You've got 2 Chupacabras.
Golden Demise gets 2 for 1. That's where you want to be on the Golden Demise.
There's a Llanowar Elf. Yeah, Golden Demise.
Terrance is
Pretty good.
He's in a pretty good position here, so Jake hasn't been really able to get a threat down.
There's a threat.
This is a threat, so this is at least going to earn Jake a fresh card.
J-Mac, I will ask Jake, and he will probably post it on the website for you. Because he is a nice guy. Oh, Terrance going to the dome with that one. We're not playing around
Big
anymore.
time. Big time choice to go to the dome.
The scriptures.
I think this is a Rite of Belzenok.
Those are the scriptures of Phyrexia.
Oh, are these the Phyrexian scriptures?
Yep. So the first step is to put a +1/+1 counter on a creature. Up to one creature, it becomes an artifact.
Yep, and then the second step, you destroy all the not artifacts, right?
Yeah.
Jake doesn't seem to care as this Jade Light Ranger comes down.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get to draw cards off of all those.
He bends the Carnage Tyrant?
Aggressive.
Interesting.
And then all those cards in his graveyard are going to get exiled the following turn.
Yep. So Jake's going to lose 3 life and draw 3 cards here. All right, let's see what Senior Valentine comes up with here.
Probably a find.
Here's
Nope.
Wild Growth Walker, or
Branchwalker.
Merfolk Branchwalker. Giving Jake his 6th land that I don't think he needed. Exile the graveyard.
Graveyard gone.
So we read the scriptures. That was something.
Yeah, Phyrexian Scripture is very good. I think underrated in the standard format, but
All right, well, you can
Swing
sleeve
him
it
for
up.
2.
You can sleeve it up whenever you're ready, my friend.
I'll sleeve it up right now. I have it sleeved up.
Is it in a sleeve, ready to go?
I have multiple copies in multiple different commander decks.
Sure. Here's
Hour
the Doom
Whisperer.
Whisperer.
Strike to the dome.
So I think, is Jake at 11? Because he took 3 on drawing this on the Phyrexian Scriptures chapter?
Well, Phyrexian Scripture doesn't deal any damage.
Well, no, but the guy that when a creature dies, you take 1, draw a card? That guy was in play?
Wow. Just dealt with a Doom Whisper.
All right, Doom Whisperer dealt with. Put a land in the graveyard for his troubles. That's all right. I completely expect Jake to make things
Wild
as
Growth Walker.
uncomfortable for everybody as possible.
And Chupacabra.
Chupacabra. So, finally deploys a Chupacabra to the board that he may or may not have been sandbagging the whole game.
Has been sandbagging, for the record.
This just in. Has been sandbagging.
Local sandbagger, Jake Valentine, deploys his Chupacabra.
Sandbag enthusiast, Jake Valentine. Displaying the finest sandbagsmanship with
Would
the
have really
Chupacabra.
liked to see an Explore creature with this Wild Growth Walker, as Terrance seems to be on just the Rakdos burn list, so, because we haven't really seen many creatures outside of a Plague Crafter.
Right. 5 mana. 6/7.
Doomfire you for 6. put you down to 3.
3 life. Let's see if
Let's explore.
Jake can come together with
right now.
over me. There's a land. He's finding that his find is not very findable.
Found it.
Okay, so now he's got the combo where he can make this Wild Growth Walker infinitely large.
Whoa, infinitely large. What?
Oh, no. It's only on Explore, not Surveil. I was thinking if it triggered on Surveil, you could have Doom Whisperer, Wild Growth Walker.
Bennett.
He needs to end this game before.
So Terrance has no cards in hand.
Correct. Before Terrance top decks Banefire again.
Yeah, I think you want to Bennett and dig to explore cards.
I think he did.
He has a Doom Whisperer in hand. He's not casting. He can
Come on, Banefire off the top.
bait a Banefire here and Vraska's Contempt his own like Chupacabra.
Oh, sure. Yeah, Terrance takes a bunch.
7. I just run out the Doom Whisperer. I guess it doesn't really do much for you here. Might as well.
It dooms much, but doesn't do much. It's just a big guy at this point.
So I don't know what kind of board wipe you'd be playing around, but like that's the only reason to not play the Doom Whisperer.
Right.
And the Rexian Scriptures doesn't do a whole lot in that regard.
Yeah, Terrance almost got there. The Wild Growth Walker was kind of a bad card for him to see as he was on the target your face with all of my burn cards plan.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he really wanted to see like a risk factor. That's a big card in this Rakdos burn archetype. You don't really see the Experimental Frenzy as much here.
Right. Because it's got some big... Yeah, Indy has his big X spells that you want to...
Yeah, you want all the lands for.
Practice the sandbagsmanship on.
Yes.
So it's very interesting. Very interesting matchup here.
So I gotta think Jake's taking out the Chupacabras.
As he didn't see but a Plague Crafter.
Yeah, it might be worthwhile to keep Vraska's Contempt in just as like an emergency gain 2 life, but also there's a little bit of play there between Plague Crafter and Vraska's Contempt.
You also don't need Assassin's Trophy anymore.
You definitely don't need Assassin's Trophy.
So he's got some space to come in from the board. I don't know if he has the remaining Wild Growth Walkers. Is there obvious bring in?
Yeah, you typically see at least 3 in the 75.
I'd bring in these Thrashing Brontodons as they have huge butts.
Wow.
Very hard to burn out a Brontodon.
Big old butts.
As they have, they're thick.
They are indeed.
For Terrance, I don't hate any of the cards he played. I kind of like them all. I would choose between Shock or Golden Demise.
Yeah, I think you want Golden Demise for sure.
And I think if you can read Jake on taking out his removal, I would up the Planeswalker count.
Yeah, so Jake can't take out all of his removal. I mean, he could, I imagine, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to.
Right.
Golgari being the best deck in the meta. Yes, and it is very versatile, like you said.
Yep.
But as we mentioned before, any matchup is just going to be like 60-40 at best. Golgari probably has the best matchup in terms of its mono-red matchup. Especially when it's built with the Wild Growth Walkers in the main.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So it really depends on how many honor guards you see. If you see as much mono white running around with, main deck Tikali honor guards.
Yeah, the Pro Tour had a ton of that.
It's going to be really tough for Golgari to stay on top. So that card's not like the end-all be-all, but it's a 2-mana spell that you must answer. And the only real answers you have in the main deck are typically Contempts or maybe Assassin's Trophies.
Yeah.
And you really don't want to spend those on a 2-mana spell.
Absolutely not. Not the best way to spend your 2-mana spells.
But supposedly the mono red deck has a very good matchup against mono white. So it might just take that swing to where we're going to see mono red pop up and
But
maybe
then you
decrease the white share, and then your Golgari decks can sweep in and pick up another couple percentage points.
Yeah, but if you go overgrowth on the Wild Growth Walkers in the Golgari deck to beat the red decks, that card is wholly suboptimal against the Jeskai decks.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
I mean, it's a guy. It's going to attack every turn. You might get in a couple points of damage.
Correct. It's not as good as it is, certainly, but it's not awful. And the Jeskai decks still have to kill you. So we were talking about Sorosi's deck before, where he was getting cute with the expansion instead of just going to the dome with the explosion.
Yeah.
And if you can gain enough life to where that's not really a threat, you can definitely play a more aggressive style.
Sure.
Plus the card filtering that Doom Whisperer provides comes at the cost of life, so being able to gain life to be able to surveil more is a big deal as well.
Okay.
So it's not a dead card. It's definitely not your best card, but
Right.
still good.
All right, Terrance can be on the play for this one. See if he can make a comeback.
Most Golgari play 2 to 3 cast downs now for that. That is true. You are seeing more cast downs in the list. But that is an actual dead card against most Jeskai control decks, so I think you're going to see that swing back into
Jake's on 6. It looks like Terrance is going to hold.
another Assassin's Trophy in the main, like one in the main, one in the board type deal.
Yep.
But certainly out of the board, cast down's good. I'm actually an advocate for Necrotic Wound out of the board instead of cast down, but I haven't played it enough to be definitive about that. I think that cast down still has a place. I definitely want to test the wound, though.
For sure. Yeah, the standard format's super interesting. I feel like you could play the same deck in a different configuration every week until we get a new set.
Yeah, I think you could play standard singleton in this format. Like all the cards are if we're divesting. Here we go.
Holy smokes. So, this isn't the best divest I've ever seen, as Jake has 2 Llanowar Elves. If he had 1 Llanowar Elf and 2 lands, I'd be much more into it. But I would just divest the 3-drop here.
Yeah, you definitely divest the 3-drop. You probably have burn to deal with these elves.
Yeah, or maybe
Guess not.
Instill Infection.
Well, we would have done it on his turn.
Sure.
We drew a 3-mana spell, which...
Yeah, there's chock full of 3 minutes. There's a lot of options there.
So we get double explore. Explore number 1. Counter.
Bends it, okay.
Well, we need
Number
lands.
2, he gets the land. Alright, what do you got, Terrance?
Here's the red
Golden
mana.
Demise?
Just a shock. That's fine. Being able to shock a Jade Light Ranger is okay.
Yep, and it's going to keep his life total high.
Fine Finality.
Fine Finality
Probably
stays.
Keep that one. I don't know what this last card in hand is.
No, Jake's going to commit to the board. If he has Golden Demise now,
Yeah, that's not the end of the world for Jake.
it's not the end of the world, but it certainly improves the position.
Yeah, so these Llanowar Elves aren't doing a whole lot. Because he's not really ever going to get to the point where he can cast 2 spells per turn on with a hand where he has 2 spells in it.
Okay. So,
Minecraft, get rid of the branch walker. I don't think Terrance really expected that. Maybe he did.
oh, does that always always a Vivian
It was
Reed?
a Vivian. That's a good one here.
So he's gonna plus it, and he gets a
Memorial to Folly.
Memorial to
solid.
Folly. Another
Played
one
it
of the
as
cards
turn.
that grinds.
The card that grinds.
The land that grinds in the deck that grinds
That one is an actual combo.
with.
Glowspore Shaman.
All right,
Keep
Get-
yourself from decking.
get
It
you
was very relevant in like the hyper self-mill versions of Golgari early on.
the super duper Glowspore Shaman-y versions. Too bad Terrance didn't have the immediate Vraska's Contempt like he did for the last Vivian Reed.
Yeah, this is gonna get out of hand. Oh man, and multiple wild growth walkers.
Yeah. This isn't gonna end well for Terrance.
So I would play the Find Finality here, or the Find here.
Yeah.
I don't think I would run the wild growth walker out there right now without the ability to immediately explore. I guess having this Death Gorge Scavenger is good enough. You're going to be able to gain some life here, either way. But with Jake
Sure.
at 20, he's not in real danger right now. Terrance with a lot of swamps in this deck, though.
Yeah, tons of swamps coming out. He's got 2 red sources, so I can't imagine he has something that requires 3 red. But I think we got
Ball
another
lightning.
Plague Crafter
Ball lightning.
to catch a Llanowar Elf. See, that's where he needed the Golden Demise, because
It wouldn't
Plague
kill the wild
Crafter is-
growth walker.
well, Plague Crafter is predicated upon him not having many creatures on the board because his other removal is taking care of them.
Right. Got a Doom Whisperer here.
So that's important that he, all his removal is doing the things that it's designed to do, not
Yeah, Plague Crafter. Nope. We want your shock.
because it's going to gain him life.
It's going to give him +1/+1.
Okay,
so
creatures
it'll deal
gain
extra
life. My
damage.
bad.
So quick 5 damage into a Doom Whisperer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not too worried about his life total right now.
No, Jake's going to just activate this Doom Whisper until he finds another. I don't know what the best card to find here is, but
I don't think you need to activate it. I think you just get to swing in. He's got to find Finality, so he's going to be able to untap. Worst case scenario, find.
is Vivian Reed the top 4 or 5 cards of what?
It's +1
Oh, the
ability.
activated ability. Well, we can type exclamation point VIVI
Card.
Oh,
It's 4. You're gonna butcher this spell. You did it.
I did it. Oh, there you go. Nice.
All right, we got the emblem
Top
here.
4 cards of your library.
So creatures are +2/+2, vigilance, trample, indestructible.
Yeah, so this isn't the end of the game for Terrance.
It's pretty close.
Yeah, they're pretty done. Vigilance, trample, indestructible are all really good keywords abilities to have.
Get rid of the Bane Fire, so that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage. Puts Terrance at 4.
It's like
Finds
exile the
back,
world.
doesn't matter.
So World Gorger Dragon's an out here. Boop. Nope.
That's it.
And there's the hand. Yeah, the Vivian Reed just got out of hand,
It did.
and it came down pretty early.
Definitely needed an answer for Vivian Reed and didn't have it. I wonder if Terrance has Eldest Reborns in there.
Ooh.
That would give him a little bit of extra reach against Planeswalkers, but I think he needs to see some risk factors for that deck to really shine.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely need some sort of card advantage engine to push him over into that last little bit.
Exactly, but there you have it. That was our fourth and final round.
That's our show for this week. We're here every week playing Standard in Paper Magic. I think we're one of the... I keep saying this. I don't think there's many streams with live commentary on Paper Magic.
It wouldn't be tough to do the research. So instead of just saying it, why don't you look?
All right, I'll look this up.
So
we're certainly
City,
the best
Star
stream.
City.
They do it on a weekly basis?
Oh, well, yeah, they do it on a weekly basis.
Well, yeah, on the weekends.
Oh, so you want during the week. So
during the week.
During your midweek Magic needs.
Yeah, your midweek in live Magic in the middle of the week with great commentary.
Yeah.
From one of the most handsome Pro Tour competitors I've ever met in my life.
I don't know about that.
You're right. I did meet Brian Kibler at an after party one time. It was as magical as you imagined it would be.
I believe you.
It was... This is a great story. It was me, John Medina, and Brian Kibler at a bar.
Yeah.
Where a bunch of Magic players were singing karaoke. Brian Kibler has his bachelor's degree is in theology, which is a hobby topic of John Medina's. And so I'm standing there while they're like actively discussing like theology, and I'm just like standing there with my drink, like I'm just happy to be here, guys. So super funny. It was a good time. Good times were had.
I can just imagine you being like, so, what do you think about the Catholic Church?
I have some strong opinions regarding that topic that we will not get into on the stream because not a theology stream, believe it or not.
We'll get it. If you guys bring it up in chat enough next week, you will get it. And you'll get to hear some really strong opinions. But
really hot takes.
That'll have to wait until next week because for now, we're signing off.
We are signing off. My name's Taylor Gunn.
Hi, Taylor. I'm John Douglas. I don't know if you can hear me. I can't hear myself, but...
So, that's all we are.
That's all we are.
Have a great week. We'll see you next